we are here, well, to talk about alchemy of intuition and to enjoy being with each other as well. That's the beautiful thing about being in the gathering ground, just to be able to hop on and be with you. And we wanted to put this Ask Me Anything in because actually, if maybe you can't see Jen at the moment. Jennifer is our amazing, amazing community support person. Many of you will know her through her gorgeous emails and responses to you. And Jen has been having a lot of questions come in about alchemy and from many of yourselves. So we thought, right, rather than Jen having to answer everyone individually, let's just get together and find out what these beautiful questions are and how I can meet them, because I want you to be in alchemy. I want you to be there because I know it's an absolutely amazing experience. You know, last year was the first time that I had it as a program. It's interesting really in its inception. I didn't know I was going to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you about it because going back 2 years now, just over 2 years ago, I got ill with coronavirus. And from that place of, walking a beautiful pathway of the pathway of the souls, really, walking that very fine line between life and death. I was in hospital for 2 weeks with coronavirus and never had to be ventilated, which is very good because I understood that if I went on the ventilator, the choice was already made in my body, that it wasn't coming back from that. And it was the most, I'm watching my energy field as I talk to you because it's kind of easy to forget how magnificent that experience was for me. And it's not common, is it? Most people who've had COVID badly in hospital for 2 weeks are not going to come out and say, wow, it was one of the best experiences of my life. But it truly was. Not just because of the people that were in there and not just because of what I went through on a personal level, but because of for about 7 or 8 days, I was far more in that realm of non-physical than in the physical. And it was the most magnificent, magnificent place. That vibration of rich, energetic, cosmic connection. And in my body system, it activated something deeper in my template of health. So it called something forward in my soul that, of course, had always been there, but I hadn't really experienced it in its bigness. I think one of the most overriding sensations of that time for me was that immersion in love, the love of the universe, the love of the cosmos, that aspect of divinity that's housed within that love. And I don't think anyone could have been touched by that without bringing forward some profound changes. And as I recovered, as I got to go home, the first time I saw my husband in 2 weeks, the first time I saw everything, it really felt like the entire world. I mean, I remember that drive home from the hospital. So it was the very beginning of September. And marveling at the colors, the richness of the colors. I was kind of seeing through a different vibration in my soul. So, of course, I've always been able to see energy, but when I look at energy, as I've grown in myself, then the hue, the vibration of that energy has changed in me as I've been in more relationship with it. I hope that that is understandable. And as I came home from, it's only half an hour, 40 minutes in the car home from the hospital here in Cornwall, but my goodness, the world blew me away with how exquisitely beautiful every color was. I remember, my family and friends loved it for about 2 weeks. And then I think they even got a bit fed up with me saying how amazing everything was. But it brought forward in me that readiness to teach at a different level, to to invite transformation at a different level. You know, there's a very, very old wisdom that says a healer or a teacher can only ever help their clients or students experience what they themselves have experienced. Yeah, that transformation happens in a shared space like this because my energy field has already transformed to that place. And I think when I came out of hospital and all of the processes that that had led to, I was really ready to teach at a completely different level. Now, I'd been teaching energy perception and intuition for 15 years by that point. Beautiful, powerful classes. But the energetics of this program is so different from anything that I'd even known was capable, as far as where people could be transformed by it. And so it was my utter delight as we moved through the program last year. I thought I knew its potential. I thought I knew how the people that participated would be touched, would be transformed, would show up in different ways in their life. But of course, we had to do it, and I had to witness and support that 18 weeks to really understand the profound difference that those individuals experienced in their journey, just as I had experienced in my journey. So really, really humbling, really inspiring. And for all of that, I'm very excited to go through it this year. And yeah, we've already got some amazing people joining us for it. So that's my story with how Alchemy of Intuition came into being. So now let me find out what questions you have. Let me pull them up here and see. Okay. Okay, we've got some lovely practical ones. Let me come here, have a look. All right, what time are live classes with me and what dates are they? My goodness, good job I printed off my course overview to be able to answer that one, because there'd be no way I'd hold those in my head. So we have 9 modules in the course, and the first module is actually, when you first come into the course, before module 1 even starts, then you've got my energy anatomy understanding. So as we move through it, we talk about you becoming the alchemist. And I love that as a concept. Alchemy is a very old tradition of taking base materials and turning them into gold. And of course, that applies the same to alchemy of the soul. So we take those old patterns, we take those places of dysfunction, the places that, if you're like me, you will be very familiar with because they show up in your life again and again and again. And we help integrate them into the body system by understanding our energy, bringing in that intuitive understanding to dissolve so that actually you can access your wisdom much more. So we start with energy anatomy and then move into an overview of perception, intuition, and why it's important. Why, when we're able to perceive the understandings that's all around us, bring them through the energy system into that core aspect, interpret what happens there, which is what intuition is, and then act on it. That inspired, intuitive action. That's the key then to being able to bring those changes in your life. So those 9 modules, each of them have live classes in. There are 3 practice sessions with amazing faculty, Naomi and Alison. And then there are 8 live classes with me. So maybe Jen or Fran, I think that would be awesome. Are you happy to pop dates up rather than me just reading out a load of dates? Pop dates up in the chat. That would be great. But they're always on a Tuesday night. And they always start at 7 o'clock UK time. I'm sorry, I don't have the capacity to translate that into multiple other time zones. But, oh, hang on. 7 o'clock until 8:30, which is 8 o'clock start in Europe, Central Europe, and 2 o'clock in Eastern US. Phew, testing my ability here. All right, let's have a look. Let's see. Okay. Just going through your questions here a sec. All right. I'm not seeing many questions at the moment. We have all right. So maybe you don't have many questions yet. Thanks, Jenny, for putting all of those in. So ask me your questions. Let's bring them in so I can answer them. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep talking about how amazing it is. I think one of the things that I really loved. So I've told you how it was kind of inspired, but then I have to take it from that big place of energy as an energetic of a course and put it down into a spreadsheet, don't I? I have to have dates and plans. And so I went away for a few days to an amazing cottage in North Cornwall. And I thought, right, this is it. I'm going to get this class, which wasn't even called Alchemy of Intuition at that time. I'm going to figure it out. And I crochet. I crochet a lot. It's where I do a lot of my dreaming, a lot of my intuition. So I was sitting there and I was crocheting a beautiful shawl, and I heard a noise, and it was a noise of energy, and it was coming towards me, and it was coming towards me fast. This is in the middle of winter. The fire was on. It was coming towards me fast. And I thought, oh, something big information is coming in. It shows you how intuitive I am. And so I'm sitting there crocheting, and suddenly I see it all landing. I see Alchemy of Intuition. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to disturb this flow of information. I'm going to keep crocheting. So it's okay, Alchemy of Intuition. Elements. I already felt the elements. Okay, we're going to work with elemental energies. We're going to ground our intuitive understandings into the body system through the elements. And more and more of this information is coming in. And I'm frantically trying to okay, I can remember all of this. I'll be able to write it all down. And then suddenly there was information overload, and I had to just literally chucked my crochet on the floor, jumped up and scribbled it all down so I could land it. But that's a pretty normal story for me for how these programs come in. It always feels like they are what I would say spirit-led. Yeah, they're already there. There's something that the universe wants to bring into being, and it's my antenna in this situation that picks it up. For another teacher or worker in whatever capacity, it's their antenna that picks up this piece of the cosmos. Oh, that was beautiful. And then, of course, just sitting with it and feeling into how to bring forward the practices that could most support that deep transformation. All right, let me see if we've got more awesome questions. There are 3 people on this call who did the course last year and have benefited immensely. Thank you. We intend to work again in sync with your new course. That's amazing. I totally love that, Lisa. I'm really, really happy. All right, let's have a look. Ricardo, you're asking, this question is more to do with intuition. I'm at a crossroads and don't know what career path to take. How do you know if something is right for you? How do you also know if the path is one of love or ego? Oh, Ricardo, what a beautiful, beautiful question. And I mean, that's essentially the focus of the course, isn't it? Like, how can you trust your intuition? How can you know that the intuition that you're interpreting, intuition is language, it's just information being communicated, and your energy fields picks up that vibration of communication, and then between your heart, your mind, and your soul, you translate it, you interpret it, and that is a skill. Some people are born deeply intuitive, and that intuitive ability never gets squashed, never leaves them. They go through school, and sure, they can do the head learning as well, but they always trust their gut stronger. In my experience, those people are very few and far between. I was very fortunate. I was the last of a big family. My older brothers and sisters were much older than me. So my parents kind of forgot me most of the time. They loved me deeply. I was always loved, but no one was ever over my shoulder. You know, I was pretty responsible. I was pretty wise, and they just let me live my life. So I never had any sense of what I should or shouldn't do. If my gut told me something, I had the opportunity to explore it, to make my own mistakes for sure, but always to hone that skill of deep connection with the universe, because that's what intuition is. It's interpreting that deep connection. So some people, lucky people like me, have that intuition always nurtured in them. I remember one time I was about 19, incredibly headstrong. And I asked my mum something. I asked my mum what I should do. And she's a very gentle woman. And she just had this beautiful smile on her face. And she said, "What I suggest you do is whatever you want to do. Because I know whatever I say, you're going to do that anyway." And it was said with such love, but it was that place of just recognizing that I was going to follow my own path. I was going to follow my own light in that way. So, Ricardo, when it comes to helping you trust that deep, deep wisdom in yourself, then if you aren't able to come on alchemy to really learn how to trust it, then what I'm going to say to you is follow your heart with courage, because the heart and the intuition are very closely linked. The head, our rationality, our shoulds, our must do's, they can lead us so far away from the wisdom of that integrated understanding. So, of course, in Alchemy of Intuition, that's exactly what we do. We learn how to trust our intuition. I work with practices that really can unfold that trust in you. But recognizing that if you aren't able to take it for whatever reason, then really explore where your heart moves you to go. And that also answers that question of ego or love, because the heart never has ego. It's a beautiful question. Da, da, da. Oh, Sandra, you're asking a great question. Oh, I love this. I totally get it as well. You're saying, what will be the difference between Enliven Your Body, Access Your Guide and Light, or Radiant Soul program? You have taken 10 courses by now, so you've got lots of practices. I can't do them all already. I so get that. What will be the different breakthrough after Alchemy of Intuition, which didn't happen till now? What will be the aim of the course, or what was the benefit people took out of it? Beautiful, beautiful question. And Lise, or others of you who are on this gathering ground right now who did take the course, then please put your answer in the chat as well. What did you get out of it? I know there's most beautiful, beautiful testimonials at the moment that many of the course participants put on Instagram and Facebook, ones that made me cry when I'm listening to them. But the aim of the course, Sandra, is for me to guide you through practices, not just tell you what to do, but to guide you through and work with you so that you can actually align your perception, your intuition, and your soul path. So, what that looks like for individuals will all be different, because as you go through the journey, you get understandings of what is out of alignment and how to bring it back in. So I think one of the really big objectives for me is that you feel deeply connected to the universe around you. You know you are always supported, that you always belong, and you know how to read the signposts that this great big web of life always has for you to guide you in every decision you make. Simply put, that's my objective. And in doing so, to empower you so that you can feel really confident about those choices, really confident about how authentically you are living your life. And that's a really powerful ripple when each individual steps into that place. We raise the vibration of everything, our families, our work, our relationships. That was one of the big things that really came forward from Alchemy last year, is how people's relationships changed in every way. Relationships with themselves, relationships with loved ones, relationships with colleagues, relationships with members of their community. And all of that, and that's the most beautiful outcome, is because when you're able to align your intuition to your soul path, that radiance in you unfurls greater and greater. The anxiety lessens, the fear lessens, because you begin to know yourself as an essential part of this world. And for me, that's really powerful. It's definitely one of my soul missions, if you want, is to help change the world. Help change the way we live in the world so that we create a world together that is inspired, joyful, peaceful, empowered, in balance. And we can only do that by unfurling that in ourselves. The science on that is amazing. The results that happen at a vibrational quantum level when we bring ourselves more and more into balance. Yeah, so that is the key, Sandra, to this course. And one of the things I think that's so different about this course compared to anything else that I have at the moment is the level of support. So obviously we've got lives with me every module, the practice sessions with the faculty, which is huge, but one of the most precious things is that if you choose to be, you're put into little practice pods, 3 people. And you, as a threesome or a foursome or however many you are, you get to really be supported, be witnessed, witness others' transformations, talk about the things that just aren't working for you. And then you get to bring that into the live sessions with me, because those live sessions, they're not where I just share the information that are in the beautiful course books or in the videos. Actually, those live sessions are where, exactly now, like now, I look at you, we answer your questions. I notice that somebody is asking a question and maybe they're asking about not trusting their intuition. And I see in their energy field that actually the heart is not able to move into resonance with their intuition. So they come up on a spotlighted bit of the screen and we go through practices to actually help them align. And one of the amazing things, I knew it way before, but one of the amazing things was to witness how other participants in the course felt their own heart energy shift and change because of the work done with that one person. Amazing. And that's what I mean, those ripple effects. We are so connected in every way, so connected. So when there's an energetics of a course, I could call it the energy field of the course, then actually everyone is transformed within it because one person is transformed in it. Yeah. So that's the maybe long answer to that great question. All right. Nat, I love what you bring forward, that you thought the peer group practice pods worked really well in Alchemy last year, and actually practicing what you learned in the class with trusted others really accelerated your learning. And you astounded yourself at some of the things you assumed that you would find hard to do, but could actually do. Yeah, I totally love that. And Rasheen, you're mentioning ceremony as well. It was such a big part. Anytime we work with ceremony, and don't be scared by that concept, ceremony can be saying a blessing to yourself when you get into bed, or it can be thinking about a struggle that you're going through in your life, recognizing that there are other people who are also going through that. And when you light a candle, you just offer some gratitude or generosity into that web of life. It can, of course, be all of us together working to radiate joy or healing into the energetics of the program, the field of the course. So many different ways. I'm deeply immersed and trained in ceremony and in the shamanic understandings of how we work to really balance the soul. Then those daily sacreds, as I call them, are absolutely key. All right. Oh, August, you're asking a great question. I just mentioned shamanically. Since working shamanically through depression, I've been given some profoundly beyond the pale experiences. I want to learn to communicate them in a way that is palatable to others. Would this course help me gather these many events into a product I can share? What a beautiful and big question, August. Essentially, my answer to that one, it will certainly help you translate your understandings, your ability to be intuitive and to connect into that beautiful imaginal realm, the ability to understand the energetics of ceremony, the energetics of intuition, the energetics of aligning with the soul path. If you are ready to gather those events that you're talking about and share it as a product, then this can help align you to that for sure. Will I guarantee that every one of you will come out ready to design your own course on shamanic understandings? No. But it feels like in so many ways, what I have experienced in my 20 years of client work and then into supporting transformation in students is that the subtle shift that's needed is so small that actually the support, the alignment that you need to activate that template of health, to unfold and unfurl that immense radiant energy that is moving through you constantly, but maybe getting stuck in little roadblocks of energy or old patterns or stories you tell yourself, that actually all of them just prevent you from being able to experience the fullness of your own intuition, your own trust, your own deep wisdom. And that for me is a deep sadness, because I know it's only a small shift. It's only a small shift to completely transform how you experience the world. Yeah. All right. I think, as far as I can see, I know that we are about out of time, but I think I've answered all of the questions that were there. So I am going to tell you I love you. I love you whether or not you take alchemy. That is, my love is not conditional on you buying a single course. I'm so grateful that we get to be here and share this time together. And if you feel that call of alchemy, then know that I am absolutely delighted to be walking with you for those. It's a while. Yeah, it's 18 weeks that we get to really traverse the depth of autumn and winter. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to it. And it's so close now. I can hardly wait. The opening ceremony just next Tuesday. All right. Big love to all of you. So glad that you are here. And I will see you very, very soon. All right. Lots of love. Bye-bye.